We just received information the suspect is in custody.
A sigh of relief after a nearly 12-hour manhunt to find the suspect who shot and killed 3 UVA football players. Live coverage from multiple angles on grounds.
Plus, we're learning more about the 3 standout UVA football players gunned down on a bus after that field trip to D.C. We'll explain.
And we'll also have reaction from other UVA students to the tragedy as they mourn the death of those 3 athletes.
Live from the CBS 19 News studio, this is CBS 19 News at 5, Charlottesville News First.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dan Shooting.
And I'm Ashley Brooks. We thank you for joining us tonight.
I have 2 people shot. One person's at the UVA box office, lay down, and one person's at the Colbert garage, shot in the chest. Another woman shot. Where you shot at?
Well, we have continuing coverage of that tragedy at UVA. Police giving us more details on what unfolded last night when a busload of UVA students arrived on grounds back from a class trip.
3 standout football players shot dead. The suspect, Christopher Darnell Jones Jr., evaded police for more than 12 hours. Our CBS 19's Felicity Taylor has been following this story all day and joins us live now from grounds. Felicity, what can you tell us now?
Well, Dan and Ashley, we're out here on grounds where the entire Charlottesville community is mourning this tragic incident.
Field trip was associated with a class, and the individuals that have been named were part of that trip to see a play.
It started as a class field trip. Around 10:30 Sunday night, after the students arrived back on grounds, UVA police were alerted to a shooting near Colbert Garage. There they found 5 victims in a charter bus.
Enjoying a school activity, having a meal together, and coming back to our grounds, and someone amongst them chose to do an act of violence.
2 victims died on scene, and the 3rd died at UVA Hospital. Police identified the victims as Devin Chandler, Lavelle Davis Jr., and Deshaun Perry, all members of the UVA football team. 2 other shooting victims remain in the hospital, one in good condition, the other in critical condition. The suspect is identified as Christopher Darnell Jones Jr., a 22-year-old UVA student. He was caught in Henrico County Monday morning by Henrico police. After about 12 hours, a shelter-in-place order at UVA has been lifted, allowing students to leave their dorms.
My heart is broken for the victims and their families and for all those who knew and loved them, and they are all in my prayers.
Jones currently faces 3 counts of second-degree murder and 3 counts of using a gun in commission of a felony, and he is currently in custody. UVA has announced that they will be canceling their classes again tomorrow, but here on grounds, the crime scene has opened back up. For now, live on grounds, Felicity Taylor, CBS 19 News.
Felicity, thank you. And we're learning more about the UVA players who were shot and killed this morning. CBS 19 sports director Preston Willett joins us now.
Yeah, and Preston, what kind of impact can you maybe explain a little bit about this, that this has on the UVA football community?
I mean, it can't be said enough. All 3 of these guys, excellent football players. Obviously, they're playing Division I football at Virginia, but even better people off the field. Lavelle Davis Jr., Deshaun Perry, Devin Chandler. You can see their pictures there now. All 3 of these players, Lavelle Davis Jr., Deshaun Perry, and Devin Chandler, were juniors on the football team. Davis Jr. was in the middle of a comeback season after missing all of last year with a knee injury. A GoFundMe has been started for Davis, which has already raised more than $38,000 for his family. Now, all 3 known as great teammates too, as messages and stories have been shared throughout the day on social media and everywhere. A former assistant coach shared a video of Deshaun Perry rapping on team trips on the bus. You can see just kind of the joy and energy that he brings to the team. Devin Chandler transferred from Wisconsin just days before Bronco Mendenhall stepped down, but he honored his commitment and stayed at UVA through this season. Lavelle Davis Jr. was a 6'7" receiver, a standout on the field, always making plays, but was also known as a humble and quiet kid off the field at UVA. He found a family with Coach Marcus Hagans, even attending Hagans' kids' youth baseball games when Hagans is on the road recruiting. This August, I talked to Lavelle about the family he discovered while in Charlottesville.
Off the field, we all hang out together. We all a big family, you know what I'm saying? Coach Higgins, he invites everybody to his house, you know what I'm saying? We be at his house chilling all the time with the kids and everything like that. Going to the pool with him. Like Coach, it's like a real life family in our group. It's competition, of course, but we never let it get in the way with like personality-wise or like letting it get off the field or anything like that. It's a good competition, you know. We trying to push each other to chase our dreams, you know, get to the league and do what we got to do, provide for our family, you know what I'm saying?
Within the last half hour, both UVA football coach Tony Elliott and AD Carla Williams shared these statements. Elliott saying, "I cannot find the words to express the devastation and heartache that our team is feeling." Williams adding that we will never see what their impact on the world would have been, but we will never forget their impact on us. Also want to add, the father of Mike Hollins confirmed to the Washington Post earlier the running back was one of the victims injured, taken to the hospital. He did say that he is in stable condition at the hospital.
All right, there's a vigil tonight as well, so the UVA community already coming together to pull in for their friends and family.
Right. And is there anything else, Preston, that you can tell us about the remainder of the football season? A lot of questions right now.
Yeah, a lot of questions. Obviously, UVA men's basketball game canceled for tonight against Northern Iowa. But as for the rest of the season, there still has not been any determination or anything said about the rest of the season or this game against Coastal Carolina coming up on Saturday.
All right, thanks, Preston.
Thank you, Preston. And a statement from Deshaun Perry's parents today, Happy and Sean Perry. They said, on behalf of Deshaun's parents, Happy and Sean Perry, and their entire family, we thank the South Florida and Charlottesville communities for the outpouring of support during this impossibly tragic time. The family says they will not speak publicly at this time as they grieve the loss of their son. Well, according to law enforcement, the accused shooter has been on the UVA police radar before.
Christopher Darnell Jones Jr., previously investigated by the school for claiming he owned a gun. CBS 19's Garrett Witten live on grounds picking up this part of the coverage. Garrett, what else have you learned about this suspect?
Yeah, Dan and Ashley, Christopher Darnell Jones Jr. was also a subject of a separate incident in 2021 that involved a concealed weapon. Suspected shooter Christopher Darnell Jones Jr. is no stranger to UVA authorities. The 22-year-old had been on the university's threat assessment team radar as recent as September, according to UVA Chief of Police Tim Longo. The former football player was accused telling someone he had a gun, but Longo says the comment was never made in conjunction with any threats. Longo says they followed up with Jones' roommate, who did not report seeing a gun. The weapon wasn't confirmed by UVA police.
Thought it important to share that information with you, to let you know that he had been called to our attention.
Longo became emotional during the press conference, and he said he wanted to be transparent with the public.
Just need a moment to thank God.
Jones is from about 85 miles southeast of Charlottesville in Petersburg. There he attended and played football at Petersburg High School for his senior year. Prior to that, he spent his first 3 years of high school at Varina, which is in Henrico County. Now, police are investigating what may have led Jones to shoot and kill 3 UVA students and football players.
Although we do not yet have a full understanding of the motive and circumstances surrounding these events, police are investigating as we speak.
Now, once I learn more about the motive and about any other new information I have received, I'll be sure to let you guys know. But for now, live at grounds, Garrett Witten, CBS 19 News.
All right, Garrett, thank you. Now, the shooting prompting UVA grounds to go on lockdown for about 12 hours. It started at about 10:45 last night, and the lockdown has been lifted, but classes canceled again for tomorrow.
And students who spent hours under lockdown tell us it was a scary scene for them on grounds. Our CBS 19's Gretchen Stinger has been talking to students today. And Gretchen, what has the mood been like?
Hey, Dan and Ashley. Well, the mood on grounds was very somber. Students were gathering in groups, going to grab something to eat, but you could tell there was a lot of emotions. Here's what they said.
I just really hope that everyone can find peace and heal after something like this.
As the incident was made known to the public, UVA police tweeted out, quote, "Active attacker, run, hide, fight." I spoke with some students, and here's how they felt during this unsure time.
It was also just very frightening. You know, we were locked down for 12 hours and didn't really know where the suspect was, didn't know what the danger to potential students was.
Last night, just kind of seeing cop cars zoom by our house was definitely a little unsettling.
One student adds that she is thankful for the police department and the university for being transparent at this time.
I thought they gave us the information that they knew as soon as they knew it, and they sent alert. I mean, we probably got what, like 60 alert, yeah, within the past 12 hours.
The university is providing crisis management at this time to students and to faculty. There will also be a vigil at 5:30 tonight at St. Paul Memorial Church and another at 7 p.m. on the South Lawn on the grounds. Live on the grounds, Gretchen Stinger, CBS 19 News.
All right, Gretchen, thank you. And the university urging students who need help to contact counseling and psychological services. This is important. Faculty and staff can access a similar resource through the Faculty and Employee Assistance Program. In addition, the Uvalde Foundation for Kids offering 24/7 crisis response and support hotline services to anyone in the community who needs it. We've got details on that on our website. And if you do need help, please reach out. Governor Glenn Youngkin starting his speech at the VA1 Tourism Summit in Norfolk today, calling for prayer and support for the victims and their families.
There were lives lost and families changed forever.
Youngkin says he's been in contact with university officials and his administration has sent, quote, every resource at the state's disposal to help with the investigation.
Meanwhile, other Virginia leaders have taken to social media to express their sorrows in the wake of last night's deadly shooting. 5th District Congressman Bob Good tweeting, quote, please join me in prayer for the victims of this horrific tragedy. 7th District Representative Abigail Spanberger saying, quote, my heart breaks for the families of the young men who were killed. I'm praying for the quick recovery of those who remain hospitalized. And Senators Mark Warner and Tim Kaine, Attorney General Jason Miyares, former Governor Terry McAuliffe, and Virginia Tech President Timothy Sands were all among those who sent out similar messages of support to the UVA community. Well, CBS 19 News coverage will continue on this deadly shooting tragedy at UVA. Up next in our half hour, CBS 19 News at 5:30. We'll have more on it, so stay with us.
And still to come at 5 tonight, a violent weekend across the U.S. with several other cities and a university, plus the balance of power still hanging in the balance. Democrats taking a victory lap after winning control of the Senate, but the House, we don't know yet. We'll have details on that after we check in with Travis.
And a potent storm system moving out of the southern plains will affect us on Tuesday. Rain may not be the only thing that falls in central Virginia tomorrow. I'll give you the breakdown after this.
Feels like it's a nightmare, to be honest with you. And I'm ready for somebody to pinch me and wake me up and say that this didn't happen.
Coach Tony Elliott talking about the tragic shooting death of 3 of his players earlier this week.
Plus, we'll have the latest on the investigation and when we expect the suspect to be in court.
And Governor Glenn Youngkin visiting the growing memorial for fallen players at Scott Stadium.
Live from the CBS 19 News Studio, this is CBS 19 News at 5, Charlottesville News First.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dan Schutte.
And I'm Ashley Brooks. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Breaking news off the top tonight. For the first time, we're hearing from the UVA Athletic Department about the tragic deaths of 3 football players on Sunday night.
About 45 minutes ago, sports leaders expressing their grief. Our CBS 19's Preston Willett joining us live with more on the sports press conference and what this means for UVA sports community. Preston.
Hey, Dan and Ashley. Tonight, just a few moments ago, we spoke to UVA head coach Tony Elliott and UVA director of athletics Carla Williams. Obviously, a very somber mood. Elliott just coming from the hospital where he was checking in with running back Mike Hollins, who is in stable condition now, as UVA has told us. But overall, just a very emotional state of affairs for Elliott, who said they met with his team yesterday and said that first meeting back with his team was really, really tough as he choked up and was emotional trying to get through talking about what the past 24 hours has been like for this team. He shared a little bit about each one of those players, Lavelle Davis Jr., Deshaun Perry, and Devin Chandler, who were tragically lost on Sunday. Saying about Lavelle Davis, you've known for a long time. He recruited Lavelle in high school as a freshman. Big smile that just lights up a room. And what a lot of people don't understand about Deshaun Perry, how artistic he was and creative, and just what a beautiful mind that he was. And Devin Chandler, who hasn't been on grounds for very long, but just he was the type of young person you want, but also at the same time was just a big kid. Elliott said in this time of grief, tragedy, and devastation, it's been his players that have really helped carry him through this. And I asked Elliott just what the emotions have been like with this team for the past 24 hours.
Nothing can prepare you for this situation, and we just want to be there to support the guys. And so we're slowly trying to process and move forward, but we're looking for the positive and keeping, you know, close reins on each other so we can grieve together.
As I mentioned before, Elliott came from the hospital visiting Mike Hollins and his family. Hollins is now in stable condition coming out of his second surgery earlier today. His mom tweeted on social media. Now, looking at the bigger picture and moving forward for UVA football, there's been no decision made yet on their game this Saturday against Coastal Carolina. Carla Williams says that decision will be made with Tony Elliott and the rest of the team, and they expect to have a decision soon. As for the rest of athletics, they expect all athletics to go ahead as scheduled this week. Live at JPJ, Preston Willett, CBS 19 Sports.
All right, Preston, thank you. And meanwhile, the investigation into that deadly shooting on grounds continues today.
On Sunday night, a gunman opened fire on a bus after a class field trip to Washington, D.C., killing those 3 students and injuring 2 others. The suspect in the shooting, Christopher Darnell Jones Jr., did not appear in court this morning as originally expected. Instead, he's due in court tomorrow. Deshaun Perry, Devin Chandler, and Lavelle Davis, all members of the UVA football team, were killed in that shooting. A motive is still under investigation.
Meanwhile, classes at UVA canceled for the second day in a row today. University President Jim Ryan sending out a community-wide update saying classes will resume tomorrow on a normal schedule. However, the school will not require undergrad students to complete any graded assignments or take exams before Thanksgiving break. And the grieving process continues on grounds. Today, the memorial outside Scott Stadium continues to grow.
People stopping by to place flowers in memory of the 3 men killed in the attack: Deshaun Perry, Lavelle Davis Jr., and Devin Chandler. CBS 19's Felicity Taylor is live outside of Scott Stadium tonight where that memorial is growing. Felicity.
Yeah, Dan and Ashley, now I'm here outside the memorial, which is at the student entrance to Scott Stadium facing Alderman Road. And all day throughout all of this hard weather, people have been coming and placing flowers, notes, and mementos to, remember these 3 victims. And some people were here just to grieve, and among that group was Governor Glenn Youngkin.
It's just horrific. There's no other way to describe it.
Governor Glenn Youngkin laying flowers and saying a prayer at the Scott Stadium Memorial for UVA football players Lavelle Davis Jr., Devin Chandler, and Deshaun Perry on Tuesday.
Just as a dad and as a Virginian, we're all broken today. We're all broken.
Adding he can't begin to comprehend the grief and the loss their families are going through.
Know that there's nothing that can be said. There's nothing that can be done in order to bring them any kind of comfort today.
He says all we can do is support and pray for them. That's why he came to the memorial, to mourn with the UVA and Charlottesville communities.
Recognize that as a community, this is a chance for us to come together and grieve and support them.
Youngkin added that as we come together today, we all just need to do the best we can. Live on grounds, Felicity Taylor, CBS 19 News.
All right, Felicity, thank you. And we'll have continued coverage on the deadly shooting at UVA coming up in just a minute.
Let's go ahead and head on to our first forecast. Travis, what can you tell us about the rain?
Okay, Travis, thank you. Now back to coverage of that shooting on grounds. Officials say the suspect accused of killing 3 members of the football team showed signs of trouble.
One student who witnessed the shooting has come forward and tells CBS how the tragedy unfolded that night. Sophomore Ryan Lynch says the charter bus with about 24 UVA students and a professor was pulling into a campus garage at the end of a field trip when she alleges the suspect, Christopher Darnell Jones Jr., confronted one of the victims, Lavelle Davis, and began pushing him around.
you guys are always messing with me. Said something weird like that. But it was very bizarre because they didn't talk to him the whole trip.
Lynch says that's when Jones started shooting. His father, Christopher Jones Sr., said the last time he talked to his son before the shooting, he seemed paranoid. He said something eerily similar to what Lynch had allegedly overheard on the bus, that people were, quote, messing with him.
He said some people was picking on him or whatever. He didn't know how to handle it. I just told him, no, just go to school. Don't pay him no mind. Do what you got to do. Come on out, you only had one more year.
Whether the people Jones mentioned included the 3 football players he allegedly killed is unclear. While Jones was still a student at UVA, he was no longer on the football team. Officials say he hadn't been for over a year. Authorities say the initial charges of second-degree murder could be upgraded as investigators learn more information about the attack and the suspect's intent. UVA school crimes programs aimed at keeping students safe on grounds, the crisis intervention team and the threat assessment team.
The 2 initiatives are designed to stop crimes before they happen. Alexia Williams has been digging more into the program. She joins us now in the newsroom with more. Alexia.
Hey, Dan and Ashley, we know that Christopher Darnell Jones Jr. was previously investigated by the threat assessment team, but no disciplinary actions were taken. The university has 2 programs to help stop potential crimes. The crisis intervention team trains around 90% of university patrol officers to recognize the signs of someone struggling with mental illness. On the other hand, the threat assessment team is a committee with policies and procedures to help prevent crime before it starts. It's a way to identify, evaluate, and address threats to school security. We do know the suspected shooter, Chris Jones Jr., was on UVA's threat assessment team's radar as recent as September. That's when the former football player was accused of telling another person that he had a gun. During the university's investigation, they learned that Jones was arrested on a concealed weapons violation in 2021 outside the city of Charlottesville, according to University Police Chief Tim Longo.
What's interesting about that case is he's required as a student at the University of Virginia to report that, and he never did. And so the university has taken appropriate administrative charges through the university's Judiciary Council, and that matter is still pending adjudication.
Also says that no one reported seeing the gun, including Jones's roommate, and Jones never told the school that he had the weapon. This is information that is required for the school to know. Now, it is unclear if Jones struggled with any mental health issues prior to the violent act. As I said, Jones was on the school's threat assessment team, and this happened twice, once for the alleged gun possession and once for a prior hazing investigation that he was part of, which was later closed. This did not lead to any disciplinary action that we know of. Live in the newsroom, Alexia Williams, CBS 19 News.
Alexia, thank you. And CBS 19 News coverage will continue on the deadly shooting tragedy at UVA with more on the sports presser coming up in our next half hour. Stay with us.
Well, still to come tonight, former President Donald Trump teasing a big announcement from Mar-a-Lago tonight.
For months, Trump has been dropping hints he wants his old job back.
Plus, a projection in the high-profile contest for Arizona governor. We'll have that after your Weather Authority forecast. We'll tell you why the governor race attracted national attention. Travis, what do you have?
Rain continuing the next several hours and maybe a little wintry precipitation for the elevations. But after that, it's going to be sunny, dry, and cold for the remainder of the extended. We'll talk about what's ahead after this.